One of the stories that I've just now become comfortable saying is I've actually never wanted to show that I was Black. Even as a 10th grader reselling things online, I always tried to move my hand out the way. I always thought it would negatively affect my brand. The protest and what's going on in the world just this year helped me be okay with who I am. It allowed me to be more at the forefront of my brand. This is who I am. This is what I represent. If you don't like it, so be it. My name is John Dean, and I'm the founder and creative director of Renowned. I consider what I make to be elevated streetwear. I want you to look good, feel empowered. That's the whole purpose of the brand. I'm Akron, Ohio, which is where I spent majority of my upbringing. I saw that people wanted these items, and where I'm from, you can't really get them because I'm in like a fashion desert. My job was to get those cool things and bring it to a city like mine. That was the basis of how I operate. I was ordering things from overseas. I learned international business as a 10th grader, finding different manufacturers or finding different suppliers and distributors to bring product to the United States. So I started Renowned my senior year of high school. I used to run around telling people I would be famous one day. So that's where the word renowned comes from. You could be a renowned painter, janitor, author, anything you want to be, you can be renowned in that field. And I think that's also a part of the brand values is to create that renowned essence in everything you do. I think what makes my work unique is the storytelling that we combine in our clothing, like what these clothes actually represent. One of my most recent t-shirts, probably one of my most popular pieces, the Heroes of Blackness tee, kind of features these powerful political and social justice icons. I had the opportunity to have a Zoom meeting with Angela Davis. It was amazing. Talking to her is like talking to fairy godmother, this icon. She's a feminist, philanthropist, scholar, the total representation of culture. For her to wear my t-shirt and send me a picture just shows how powerful the t-shirt was, but just also how the messaging is effective. Some of the tags, we wanted to make sure people knew what they can do to help. So we have things like organize in your community, show up to protest, and importantly, don't give up because this is a forever fight. I'm totally a computer kid. I'm Photoshop and Illustrator. And I like to see that in-person visualization versus a sketch, in my opinion. That's just the way that I work. My design process these days revolves around the idea of research and finding topics that I find interesting. Whatever sparks my eye is kind of how I start, and then I build out the basis of a collection from the research that I do behind whatever idea that is. The collection I have coming out called Fences is about the Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre that happened in 1921. So I really wanted to dig into it. I watched documentaries, I've read long excerpts, everything. It's all about getting the story right and making sure I'm representing my culture in the best way possible. Also educating people who may not know, because a lot of the times the issues that we deal with are not taught in your common classrooms. So this is a matte print that we did. We did it in this kind of blue color. This is a rayon shirt, and it actually has matching cargo pants as well. These were been Black-owned businesses that were in that community that were striving and prosperous. And then obviously the Tulsa massacre happened, and none of these businesses exist anymore. This is kind of just to pay homage and keep it forever living. Yours truly, it's like a signature. It's like, don't touch what's ours. A lot of my challenges that I've faced just making a brand in general, it's always been resources and access and opportunity. I didn't have too much of a formal background with a business or fashion. It was just trying to figure out, how do I do this? How do I create a budget? How do I plan out what do I need? If I wanted to get something, I'd write it down and I'd figure out how to do it. I'd just do everything that I could to make my dreams come true. But I didn't know the word for it back then. But now I know that was me manifesting, me turning ideas that I had and making them real. I would consider this the Renowned Bible. This is me journaling my process from the very beginning. Literally the first day I started my brand to a few months ago when I put in my last journal entry. So this is kind of everything that has happened with the brand over the years. You can see the growth from me saying, hey, I just need to get a couple of t-shirts to, hey, I've ordered 1,000 shirts and they're all sold out. This is just full of even planning out collections. Like, what does a collection look like? Who are the models? Who are the influencers? Who am I gifting it to? How can I do a favor for someone so they can help me out in the future? I always like take a look back and just look at this stuff that's, that I wrote down as a dream, and now it's, it's either come true or maybe I even got something better. It's always good to look back and kind of see, it's like, wow, you've come so far. The biggest advice I like to give to young creatives is literally be yourself. Be your authentic self. Don't let anyone change who you are, because if you start changing who you are, then I think that affects your product. You can look at yourself in the mirror and say, I made that because I love doing that. Being a nonconformist is like, you don't have to do what everyone else is doing. Just do what you want to do. When I really took a step back and figured out what I wanted to talk about and what I wanted to do, I was the happiest I've ever been. You have to find what works for you, what makes you happy, and basically go out there and how do you obtain it and put the work in,